future for VLC or WC from your point of view? If you don't talk, this will finish in 5 minutes. Or they will talk and we'll finish in 12. What? If you give the microphone to them, please.
Hello, my name is Sarah from University 2. And regarding the future of PLC, in my opinion, it's very interesting because it's a very incredible technology. Like just thinking of getting information just from light sources that are everywhere, it's fascinating. But the main thing that I found sharing this, my thesis work is based on VLC. And when I share it with my family, with friends, that friends also in the engineering areas, they ask like, why and how? Like that's the first question. And even if I explain how fascinating it can be, the main issue is approaching this technology. So regarding the future of VLC, we can have many advances, amazing technologies, but us as the main pushers of this technology, we also need to work on approaching it to people, giving them applications, ways that the technology can work. And just as the internet was something alien for people years ago, there also needs to be a push on finding ways for the people to understand this technology, and then we can get VLC just as we get Wi-Fi from our router. But we need to put a focus on that, not so much on the technical details, which are important, yes, but also in approaching it for the people, and especially not us, because we know VLC, we know optics, but we need to like be able to share it with the world in that way.
Thank you. We need one more comment. Please keep your statement short. That's one of the art of participants, that keep things short as possible, but very, very coherent. Okay. We will take another point and then we will come back to panel. Anyone else? Okay.
Just want to add another comment. When, as a researcher, they say we're doing an application and that one is failing, they say we are not reaching somewhere. When do we move on as a VLC? Let's assume 10 years from now, 20, 30, 40. When we say, okay, that's not working, let's do something else. Looking back into, let's say, comparing with RF, I will play the pessimistic point of view here. How many millions of subscribers on our RF technology at the moment? Millions in the planet. How many of VLC? If you consider counting them, good luck. So thank you.
Jamie, you would like to respond to those that are quite interesting.
Okay.
One is actually saying that we need to go beyond ourselves. These are general, ordinary users. And another one is challenging in terms of, there are many devices that most of them are done this and therefore stage.
Maybe I'd like to say, first of all, that I don't know the answer. And, it's a good start. And second, there's certainly when we have funding, at least those of us who have funding from the state, we need to respond and give studies and research that is going for a purpose, serving some ideas, communities, and that is something that we always have to keep our mind on. But at the same time, research takes us where we don't know where we're going to go. There's something in my mind, at least, that is driving us inside, that is not only for a specific practical purpose. And in my point of view, we have to keep both things maybe balanced, because we are using, taxpayers' money, of course. But so we have to think on applications that are going to serve maybe the people around us. So from the Chilean point of view, what are the needs? What kind of things we could do to help people maybe healthcare could be kind of a first point of approach for, technology like VLC. But at the same time, we have to search for things because that's something that drives us regardless of the application. That's my short comment.
Would you respond to those? Please keep it short so that everyone can have a.
Okay, in my point of view, we should focus in certain applications. In Brazil, in my lab, our focus is definitely in healthcare because hospital approaches demanding solution that should be joined to some RF, but that should be applied in some environments in which RF cannot be used. So I think that if focusing on this will be helpful because then we can show that the application it's feasible in this kind of application considering the values. Okay, and also in my point of view, the fact that now we have the standards that will help us a lot to progress towards some devices and some commercialization point of view.
Thank you very much. Okay, over back to you. So you need to throw a bit more ideas. Come on, guys, young guys. You are the future. There's, please don't say keep quiet. This is your opportunity because there might be some spark there after that.
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you for this opportunity to see how I took this. I think 20 or 25 years ago, we saw the first cell phones in our homes or maybe to offices. Then Wi-Fi hotspot. The first one in my home was around 15 years ago. And nowadays, I feel like people, when they see, for example, QR code, when they see Wi-Fi logo in a building, it's like you feel relief. Okay, here is like a connection with the world. When I came to Chile, I saw now in the bus Wi-Fi hotspot, and I was like, wow, we already see the need for this, and people are pushing to have this everywhere. I think in the near future, when we start understanding that lights can be some kind of hotspot, we will see people scanning the lights and seeing if they can connect through them. And suddenly it will become a norm. Like you will see light and you will understand that you can connect with it.
Thank you. One more person from the floor. Anyone else? News? Otherwise, I will point at you, yes, and then you're in the spotlight. Yes?
I have a question. It's not an answer. Because it's all of it. Because when you first started in VLC or studying light, all your background came from RF, I think. All of you. Because when you started, the visible light is not developed. You know? Yeah, but the most of you.
Okay.
So, what was the reason to fall in love with light? As I say, inside of you, not technological, not for the money, not for the development.
Okay, I'm going to pass this to the I didn't even come in now with this slide. You are
failing.
I would like to say that still we have a lot of I listen from Valley that the Wi-Fi is perhaps we will be complementary at my views. But it seems to me that most of the development that we've been doing, we see are very clinical. And we need to see more practical issues. And as you know, as represent, there are plenty of work to be done. But at the end, the phenomenon is the same, including radio and night. Same. In the case of radio, we send into debate. Yes, in the case of radio, we send electron, but we generate in space. When we use light, same. We use the photons. but the propagation of information is in wave. So still we have a lot of yes. I'm not sure that if CT will solve it. Yes, I'm not sure. Thank you.
Thank you. I mean, you need to also address this point now. What makes you, move away from your subject and then move, this, I would call it wonderful subject, yes?
I'm like to give it a break. So I personally not moving away, but I'm expanding towards VLC because the way I see it, I don't see two technologies. At the end, if we take industry aside, these two technologies are not competing one against the other. But the thing is, there's room for both of them. And if you look, for example, Wi-Fi, yes, it is gaining more users with the years, but you can also see that the technology is moving to higher frequencies. So for 6G, one of the enablers is transmission at terahertz. So light and radio frequency at one point are coming together, and it is, I think, a very exciting moment right now to go and do research also on PLC to complement one technology with the other.
Brilliant. One more on the floor. Ida?
So much. So my question comes out of what you brought that when we talk about a Wi-Fi network or a radio frequency network, it is a network. Everything is connected by the radio all around the globe. But when we talk about flexible light communication, it is more like just the last mile solution happening on a very local scale. So, can every developer with civil light communication network that all around the globe are using the light?
I'm going to pass these colleagues two of them here so they can tackle that, yes?
All right.
Please be short because this camera
Yeah.
needs to go.
I think
soon.
let me put it in a way. I think the infrastructure, it comes to the infrastructure. I think we are 50 or 40 years including researcher, but the question is, are we patenting our research? Are we, trying to commercialize? Do we have simple plug and play systems? If you just consider this room, we have proper infrastructure of lighting, yeah. But why we not able to use, I think, is lack of development into the technology. We writing papers, we trying to achieve certain things which maybe commercially not able to, we're not able to make those. I think my point is we need to really think about now to patent our research to more development, research and development. Also, I think that's a very good gap, So perhaps maybe we need to think about now.
And from my point of view, we are not in conflict with Wi-Fi and Internet. And we have to take the best of each technologies. And we do not replace Wi-Fi in this room, like Ferry said. It's not the And from my point of view also, maybe you know the hype cycle. I don't know where we are with the hype cycle after you visit the light. Maybe you are in the bad part. At the top and I think also if you think about Wi-Fi, and in 2005 start a new class with Wi-Fi technology. It was very new and we developed very quick Wi-Fi application, but also it was application on industrial application and commercialization of the products. So I think we have move to do not only simulation in your research, you have to apply now.
One more from the floor. Yes.
Hello, my name is Coral. I think the question is why the big companies don't promote this technology? Why?
Very simple. This question has been asked many times, yes. And I'm going to pass down the Vigo, and then I will come back to you. Maybe you can address this question. Why is it that the companies are not showing?
I think I have the same questions that also comments. So it's like I enter, from RF and say, oh, why there is a standard, and where is this standard? And in which I saw that now you show pictures, but I also believe that this is missing, and I can answer it. So you're sure to answer.
No, you answer it.
So I mean, I feel that so this is a core. This is a core of adoption. So there are still Wi-Fi. I did my research with Wi-Fi, and because it's commercial available. And I think when not something is not commercial available, so it's not yet a business, it is difficult to start using it. Even to start doing research, for me was very difficult to so I am fascinated for the potential of VLC. I'm not working on VLC. I am fascinated because I can use light to transmit under the water, because with RF I can. But I was looking at it and it's not possible yet. So I don't have concrete answers. I think quite hard, but I think this will be broken. So at some point, yes, they will be like the same. We will, okay, I will see light. I know that I have television. I will love to see that below the water. So, oh, I don't have communication. Just move it, move the the line.
I think this is a multi-million-dollar question. My take of this question is that industry has got a lag time. RF industry globally is almost $120 billion. Have invested heavily in test and measurement, infrastructure, all that. Do you really think that they're going to abandon that and then use this? But industry has got multiple antennas, which is driven by investment and marketing, capturing the market. I bet that there are many companies in wireless RF who they are working and looking at this information. But they're not telling us what they're doing. There will be always one breakaway. And that is the one which is going to change everything. And we don't know when that's going to happen. It's almost like airspace. This is a country from airspace. You don't know when the 8.8 will hit you, yes? Yes. This is what happens in technological wise. This is how we see it, yes? If you go to the my LinkedIn, there is a poster there, which shows you that global companies, samples of the global companies are moved into optical wireless communication. You will see the scale of the movement. So there is underlying movement. But is it comparable to, of course, RF? No. Will it be comparable to RF? Possibly. We don't know. We really don't know. We are just like you, but slightly more experienced and so on and so on. We have no idea how this thing is going to go. My final comment is that as an academic, I really don't care about industry. My role is not to please industry. My role is to please my students. My role is to open doors for students that can do things that they love to. Industry has got all that resources, they will do it, whether I am there or not, they will. But industry is not in my lecture room. Yeah.
If I one more, just on the, I agree with Harry, but I think as a researchers, we need to also think about spin-off You know, it's not that we work with very large companies. How many of us actually thinking about developing some products from our research, which is kind of spin-off? Yeah, no, I don't think so. We are really much interested. We should think about really involving in that, and you know, it can maybe help them. Yeah.
Wanna comment?
Yes.
Anyone else? Yeah?
Yes.
This is very important because people ask this question quite a lot.
Yes, I have a question. Okay, what is more important? To do a patent or to use a product? Can you imagine? I think that both the importance, you know, and of course it is very important in your book if you have different profiles, the ones who would like to follow a spin-off, for example, but the ones who would like to be the ones who will take our place when we retire. So I think that both things both are important, and we should think in how to attend both.
If you want to comment, just please, come in and take my. Anyone else? Well, last comments and then. Yes, no, let's give the chance to people who have not asked questions. Yes. Anyone else that would like to receive now? Then we'll pass it on to Osman. Okay, go on. Talk, please talk. I have people from consumption needs to talk.
Fine. I work with Ismail. Should we focus our research in more public navigation, in more cars and bikes, like submarine communications and underground communication, and maybe slow down the research for developing a Wi-Fi network for the common people, because right now we have many Arab solutions for the everyday use, like 5G. Now we have approximately Wi-Fi 6, 7, but the demand for the everyday life for people is almost covered. And maybe we should focus on research in other fields more challenging for the classical network.
Okay. Anyone else wants to respond to that? Yeah.
Just quickly, I think yes, maybe we should consider all this challenge and quite atypical scenarios, but I think we also need to be prepared for the time when this differentiator comes that will enable the use of light, for example, in a Wi-Fi network. Because if you look, for example, at the history of other technologies, it's been like that. For example, OFDM, it was very interesting at the beginning, but then research kind of stopped because, in theory, we had a huge potential, but devices and technology was not ready. But when this was covered, OFDM was a boom. It is the technology, the transmission technology that is that we're using right now. So with the VLC, I think it's the same. So we should not forget about also this potential application. I think it is our duty as researchers to keep this covered and be ready when the time is right for this technology.
Okay, I guess that we are almost 25 minutes. We have 25 minutes. I think we are now, you can see that the curve is flattening out. Yes. But going back to your question, I just wanted, the reason why I moved to this area, I looked at the RF domain globally, and I said that everyone is doing research in RF. And I looked at myself and said, what contribution am I going to make in this field where vast majority of researchers are working in this area? Is there an area which is untouched and it's new? And we can influence. That's how I moved into it. So we have to break away from the pack. We should not always follow the pack. Be brave, be bold, and initiate something and let us see how it evolves. And it will become interesting, and history has shown that it's actually interesting. One final thing is that what gives me the drive to move ahead with this is school children. When we bring them to the lab, we demonstrate to them, and they just love it. It's just because they can see it, and they talk colors. And I think that's fantastic. You cannot do that with art. Not possible. They cannot see it, they cannot touch it, they have to imagine it over. But this one, they see it. It's just, I think that's something that we should just. Anyway, I'd like to say thank you for my panels and all the colleagues, and so thank you for you guys for participating in this. Now we move to the next one. This is about your feedback about this event. From the moment that you saw the call for paper, from the moment that you decided to submit, the online submission, registration, all that feedbacks and so on, plus being here for 3 days or 2 days, whatever presentation. So any comment which you think would be useful to enhance this event, for us to take it to the next level. If you have anything, please do share with us. If you don't have, you don't have to. Yeah? Could we have a microphone for these colleagues, please?
Speak out.
You can speak loud.
Hi, my name is Diego. I'm an undergraduate student from SACVLC'23. And I came here knowing nothing about VLC. Only what VLC stands for, because my friends are working on that. And also it's my first IEEE Congress. So the whole thing is very new to me. And it was very interesting, the topic and the presentations like Otman, Clara, and Aida, for example. Seeing young people doing that research and being brave and standing in front, speaking in English. And it's very inspiring for me, and hope for my friends as well, or doing new. So this opportunity coming here and hearing for all the experts, it's something that I didn't thought of. It was very.
Thank you so much. I'm glad that you came.
For a point of view for the organization, maybe the session can be organized on topics, specific topics, for example, on indoor localization, for signal processing. It's maybe more easy to understand and to participate on different themes.
Yes,
And maybe for application.
Yes.
With special application and the link between the real world, because all the presentation, I'm not a specialist on VLC, on the ce qui manque. Hein? Sorry. But, ce qui manque, c'est des applications, le real world.
We need more application.
We need more application and special. Yes, it's lacking. It's a lack. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think your points are absolutely valid. Yes, I'm sure that the local committee next time I will take this into consideration. Yes, and I think focusing it and so on is how we should. So thank you so much. Anyone else who's got feedback that?
I believe that some of the works were very good and very mature, and some others were not that much, or maybe work in progress. So maybe to offer a kind of possibility to separate the ideas to maybe poster, maybe short paper, maybe because some of them could be published. So participation of the author will always be important. So,
yeah, I
believe this could also help to participate or with students, also involve students in discussion.
We will take this to the steering committee, and together with local records committee, we will. I mean, I will write an email, to colleagues here. These are the feedback and so on. Because we have to take this into consideration. You cannot ignore your views. Otherwise, these things will be just us. Thank you. Anyone else?
I would like to propose the thing that did by Vicente. I think that was a really, really interesting instance to watch.
Yes.
What's going on with VLC.
Yes.
So, what if we do some compete? What innovation, for example, works well? How works your platform for students, for undergraduate students? I think make not interactive because it's just unidirectional.
Yeah.
If you don't make questions, it's just unidirectional, and people don't make questions because some of the undergraduate students don't speak very well English, so they are afraid to speak loud or be judged. You are. I'm not saying you are judging. No. It's the opposite. I saw how you support them, how you help them to improve, to be courage. So it could be just interactable a little bit.
Very much. And just on that front, we as a community have got very active presence in social media. I'm sure that Vicente could share. We have a big group in WhatsApp, almost 120 members. We are in LinkedIn. We have got various sites in LinkedIn. If you go to my website, you will see that there are up to the wireless communication group, there are BLC group, there are many groups where we share a lot of information and so on. So to try to join those groups, you're welcome to join it. And because we have discussions sometimes, we share things. People like here that when people do the presentation, immediately it was in WhatsApp. People watching it, seeing what is happening and so on, and we will do that. And we do have other events, globally, because this is not the only event. We have many other events which we organize in order to increase this participation. It's not rather than just doing a standard presentation, which I personally don't think that is a good way of passing information and grabbing information. Any other comments before we close this section? My personal take of this is, I think the local organizing committee, and specifically, of course, my old friend Ishmael, they have come a long way. They were very bold to accept this challenge many years ago. And they have raised to that challenge. Organizing event is not easy. It may look, for example, things are functioning fine. It's very difficult. Things can go wrong. There's a lot of hard work. However, I think the local organizing committee, they have done their best to ensure that we are well looked after from whatever angle we look at it, both from scientifically and socials and so on. And I'm very, really grateful for these guys that they have taken the responsibility and they have basically running this event for the fourth time, which is, itself is an achievement. And my presence here in the last 3 days has been really good. Yes, any event can be better, but it needs resources. We could feed you 10 times a day. Yes, and you even don't want to go to the hotel. This is the best place to be because they're feeding me every an hour and a half. Yes. But the reality tells us different thing, and the reality is driven by resources. Resources are driven that how much these guys are going to generate sponsorship X and Y in order to provide us with that. So we understand. So my expectation is based on how much resources we have. So my role is to support it as much as possible. So I don't put that additional pressure on the local communities. So based on that framework, I think they have done superbly. Yeah. And okay, I would have expected that this student to finish at 5 o'clock and so on and so on, but resources is limited. That's fair enough. We will consider that later. Okay. Maybe more breaks that people can talk to one another and so on and so on. Okay. That needs to be looked at, but otherwise I think that's very good. Fantastic. I think we close that because of the time. Yes?
Can I say only a little thing to the students?
How little that thing is.
It's
Go ahead.
I only want to say something that is important for me. I remember to assist to the last SACVLC years ago in the October, and I listened Vicente presenting. I remember a lot. I didn't realize that was Vicente because then I meet Vicente in other instances, but when I started looking the website and realized that it's Vicente, I remember a lot the way that he talked to us at that time, and was very inspiring to me to see a young guy from Chile talking about things that at that time I didn't understand a lot, but I was going into them. So I think that for us, for example, this is my first time presenting in person in this conference, and I think for the next generations too, I can see a lot of new students doing their presentations in here, and I think it's always an instance of for inspire our colleagues here in Chile to think that we are able to go to other steps and try to improve this technology. And I think we are able to do that. So I only want to share that experience, and I think this place is a very good place to find inspiration actually for us Chilean people. So,
thank you so much. Okay, so a couple of things that we need to just announce it. No decision has been made. This is just we are exploring. Okay, so it is in a liquid state. Hopefully, it becomes solidified. One thing is that we change the name of the conference. We believe that the VLC is too narrow, as we say. We believe that this community is growing, and therefore it needs to be even bolder. And therefore, we need to bite the bullet, keep the first three letters. The last three letters needs to change, and it is possible that if you have suggestions, you can always suggest about it, not now, but always think about it. You can always send it to Ishmael or myself. But think integrate, think high. But we must not compete with existing events, and so we shouldn't do that. We shouldn't move to anyone else's domain because that's not very nice. Okay. We need to make it unique to ourselves. Because otherwise, colleagues say, why are you doing this, guys? You know, we have been having this conference and so on. We should never do that. We should respect them. We should support them and so on. But we look for niche market, but it is actually slightly much wider. Capture audiences with. That's one thing we are thinking of. Nothing has been done. We are just starting to discuss. We did it one event and it was very successful. The second thing is that this is also, I think it's come from the colleagues here, the local organizing committee, that maybe once every year is too often. Maybe we should think of biannual events, allowing the local organizing committee time to relax, ample time to plan, therefore secure more resources, and therefore address some of those issues. I think 12 months too short. Yeah. And we are not in a rush. It's not about we are going to achieve a number. It's nothing to do with this. It's just having a bit more time to organize things. Security, biannual could be very nice. I would certainly support that when we talk steering committees. Then the final thing is that we should certainly introduce prices for the speakers. Now we are in a stage that we can, because the qualities are getting better and better, and if you go for biannual, things will change dramatically. Therefore, it is time that we at least pick up one or two best papers. Okay, so those are the three things that we are now thinking of implementing. And of course, this event is for South America and Central America. It took place here. It's basically established here, but it's open. This is South American and Central American event and needs to reflect that. So therefore, if you are from different part of this continent, then be bold and ambitious and talk to us and Ishmael and so on. We love to host in our countries and so on. So we have a few things for us. That's it. So it is your event as much as my event, Ishmael event, or my colleagues. Okay. Now, I believe that Ishmael, there's some presentation. You're giving some gifts. Lots of dollars. Is it?
Even there are not many resources, we can give you to always support the present here and present.
He's got, you can like it too, yes? He doesn't know what to do with it. So. No. You are priority. Oh, I've got mine. This is a special. Well, thank you very much. That's very nice of you. Yes. Okay, so just one last thing is that now I formally wanted to, on behalf of the steering committee and local writing committee, really thank you first of all our keynote speaker, because being a keynote speaker is sometimes it is an opportunity for colleagues to express their research, but it takes a lot of time and effort to put the slides together. And they have to make the story such that every member of the audience will go home with their baggage. Because if they talk at a higher level, it's easy to do. When you have a mixed audience, it's very difficult. How do you pitch it and so on? So they spend a lot of time in hotels, in their own offices and so on, slides, which one to use, what to say, and so on and so on. For that, we really appreciate it. And plus, they're all busy. They have other commitments and so on. They've got to plan it in advance and so on and so on, put in their calendar. So we appreciate all of those. The fact that they have accepted and they're here, they presented, I think is fantastic and marvelous. So we need to say thank you for all of you, yes? And I hope that we will see you again in the next event and so on. And also to you guys that took the effort to participate in it, either submit a paper or even to come here as a standard participant to listen to the topic and so on. We are very grateful for that as well. I hope that again you go home and you remember these days and say that actually, I like that, maybe I can recommend to someone else to work in this area. So. And of course, this sort of event has got reviewers and resources, so we have to thank you, all of those reviewers, possibly you were part of the review panel and so on. We really appreciate that. That's very nice of things from you. And finally, it's really, again, the local organizing committee. We need on your behalf, on steering committees, on keynote speaker, we just like to say, guys, these are the guys, local executive committee. Thank you very much for what you have done. It's a fantastic event. We enjoyed it, and I hope that it goes from streets to streets. Okay. So we just want to say formally thank you. CSP, because we are a community. We are a community that we have an international commitment towards optical wireless communication. And in July next year, we have this event, which is IEEE, IET, and Optica, and sponsored event. And in this event, we have got outside China, we have got the biggest global event on optical wireless communication. It is the colloquium on optical wireless communication that we have. So if you are interested in this subject and if you want to join us in Rome, submit papers and so on. Normally we get for that colloquium somewhere around 80 odd papers for the colloquium. And we will have to select some, not all of it, it's not possible. So, but it's a very good venue for getting to know what is happening in the world of optical wireless communication. And so you are invited to come submit a paper and so on. With this, of course, Rome is, everyone have been to Rome, then we should go there. It's a beautiful, beautiful city. You can see. Okay, so that is your opportunity to join us in, and this is biannual. It happens every 2 years, and it moves from one European city to another. It hasn't left Europe at all. It stays in Europe. It's been running for 26 years. Okay, so talk to me if you are interested, and there are normally 10 to 12 travelable for students. So if you're seeking financial assistance, that there is a possibility for us. We normally have about 6 keynote speakers and number of invited speakers across the discipline. Okay? And for 3 days, 2.5 days, we look after you. Socializing things is really, and the fees that the charge is very small. Just compared to other it's very small. But if you are short of cash and so on, apply for the travel credit. There are a number of prizes that we award for the best papers and so on. There are also some special awards for postdocs and so on. And we announce those in the email. Okay, so I hope that you guys will come. Okay, but try to be starting early. Okay, that would be good. That is it from my side. I don't know whether Ishmael has got anything to add to that or not.
Maybe we get to do that. Or maybe.
I mean, this is your city, and if you want to say a few words, then we'll
Yes. So we were see what next? We start the offer from the people from the like to do the next. And even better, 3 years more, we have offer from the city. Yes. Yeah. Excellent. So I think we are ready to travel to Rome, Mexico, and Brazil.
So as you know, I'm new in this community, but as president of chair of the IT League of Chile chapter, I am happy to support this event. I have seen that this is an international opportunity for Chilean to also publish research in communications and not just VLC. I have seen that this is beyond VLC and I will be happy to support you and any organization that you need. So we were talking with Carlos about that, so that's why.
Well, thanks for the opportunity to just talk a little bit about the future plans for the conference. The plan is for the next edition that it will be a pleasure for us in Mexico to have you over there and try to contribute to this conference so that we can make it bigger and at one point in a way that can also benefit from other areas that we are working on in Central America and also maybe in North America, and of course many other areas here in the South that could be of interest for special sessions in Mexico. So hopefully in 2 years I will receive you there. It will be our pleasure.
So last thing I would like to say, yes, I would like to say thank you to our students from University of Chile, University of Santiago, yes, University of Maule, yes, and the important and the University of the yes. Without the support of them, we must also appreciate the contribution of my colleague Cesar and Simon to my university. That when we start in 2017, yes, it was complete. Unknown what will happen next. So I will also say thank you very much to the new generation. Yes. Thank you.
That is it. So if you are going to, normally the tradition is that the younger generation will invite the older generation to a bar. Yes, and flood them with beer and wine. I mean, that was the culture. So I don't know whether you want to follow that or not, you've got a better faith and that's all. Enjoy the rest of the evening. And if you are going home, have a safe journey and do look after yourself, because important was research is being both physically and mentally fit.
Okay.